Hey, this is Matthew Harvey with the 12 o'clock siren recording in the 903 Broadband Studios at Cowboy Corner on the southeast side of the square in downtown Leonard, Texas. On my left is James, straight razor shave Hartley. Sorry about that.
Cut my lip.
Oh, no.
I wouldn't have cut my lip if I were doing it myself. You know?
Looking good.
Thanks. On my left, we got Jason Fuller back for the 2020.
I am here. I'm pleased to be here.
Happy New Year, fellas.
I am not straight razor shaved.
No,
today.
looking a little scruffy.
Scraggly.
It's all right.
Scruffy Jason.
Who else do we have here, Matthew?
Happy New Year's, guys.
Happy New Year's.
You know the thing about New Year's resolutions? They come in one year and out the other.
Nope.
They sure do.
Ba-dum-tsh.
All right. We got a female here. Third
Yes, we
female
do.
interview of our show, I believe.
It is.
2020 is the year of the lady.
Yep.
From Dumpster Diva Designs, Miss Melissa Cervantes.
Hey, Melissa, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
You hear all those people
Howdy,
clapping
howdy.
for
Yes,
you?
I'm like,
Yeah.
thank you.
That live
She's
studio
bowing.
audience.
Melissa, welcome.
Thank
And
you
welcome
for
to
having
Leonard.
me. Yes, I
Formally,
can't wait.
you are moving here, right?
It's going to be my new hometown.
Exciting.
Yep.
I heard the news via Facebook, and I was intrigued. So I reached out to you, and you came in for an interview.
Yes, sir.
Where are you from originally?
Originally McKinney, Texas.
okay.
So
Just
I'm
down
always
the road.
curious, why Leonard?
Well, my son lives here now. That kind of came upon us. We were going to tear down a house that had been burned and everything. So we came out to look at the house, and I was standing on a pile of rubble, literally, and I just looked around, and I was like, I want this house. Like,
Uh-huh.
I want this house. So we talked to some people to make sure it was sound as far as where the burn was, cleaned all that off. The rest is history. He lives there now with his wife and little girl.
Cool.
Very
So,
cool.
Standing.
and we just trying to get into out of the bigger towns and stuff. We really like small. When we grew up in McKinney, there were 10,000 people there. So
Yeah.
McKinney's outgrown us.
Sure.
So,
You're born and raised McKinney?
in McKinney.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, 10,000 to now. That's
yeah, over 200.
200 now, probably.
Yeah.
and really just a part of the Metroplex. There's no
Yes.
difference now.
You can't
know?
tell whether you're in McKinney or Dallas.
I
So,
remember when we were all in school, we went to McKinney for to eat and stuff because we didn't have anything out here, and you could go to Frisco and still hit rural areas on 121, or if you went to Plano, Allen was pretty much rural, so McKinney was still kind of isolated. Now it's all the same.
all the same. Can't tell one from the other.
Mm-mm.
My dad works at the airport, and he did a video, a dash cam, back in the camcorder days from DFW to McKinney or to Preston, thereabouts. And it's fascinating.
Yeah.
I want to get it transferred digitally.
There
It'd
you
be
go.
neat.
It's a
Anywho.
mouthful.
It was on the struggle bus there. for a
So
minute.
you took a house from rubble to renovated
Yep.
completely.
Absolutely.
All right, and is that what you do?
That's
Yeah,
kind of what
that's-
you do, right?
Yeah. Well, my husband and son, they're the strong arms of it. I'm the brains behind the outfit.
That's what you said on the
Yeah,
phone. You're the brains, and
absolutely. Yeah.
you need to talk
Yeah,
about it, right?
I mean, I stood there with my Lucy eyes like, ooh, I want this, and my husband's like, okay.
Here it goes.
Here we go.
He's probably seen that before, huh?
Oh, yes, many times. Yeah.
So it's a
Yeah.
family outfit.
Yep.
You guys are doing the handiwork, the woodwork,
Yeah,
design work,
Yep.
decor.
absolutely.
All right,
Every bit of
so
it.
a lot dumpster divas implies you're taking trash
Trash to treasure.
and making it treasure.
Is the correct term upcycling?
Yeah, upcycle, recycle.
Sure.
Yeah, just saving the earth. Not try not to. I don't necessarily get in a dumpster, anything like that.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
That's where the diva comes in.
Have you
because
ever done
that's
it?
gross. I will. If
You
there's
will.
something
Have you
really
ever done
good-
it?
No,
Okay.
I haven't
Not
gone
yet.
in it. I've gotten things from the side of it.
Sure.
Yes, and from a curb and stuff.
Yep.
But that's what I have them for. They
Okay.
get in it.
So how long have your husband and son been doing woodwork?
Oh Lord, my husband's done remodeling for over 30 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean his first love and passion was wallpaper back in the wallpaper days,
Okay.
and then that kind of phased out, and people.
Yeah, it's kind of a lost art anymore.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's coming back though. It's actually coming back. But
We can
so
talk
he
about
just
that
started
later.
picking up extra, jobs because when he hung wallpaper, he didn't have time to do all the other things. So he subbed all that out. But then he started picking it up himself, and so that's been at least over 20 years that he's done top to bottom. And then our son, he was born with it. So
Yeah.
So, okay, well then to get into that and how this came about, let's start. So you said you were born and raised in McKinney, and did you meet your husband in McKinney?
Yeah, he was born and raised in McKinney.
Gotcha. What is that interference?
I was actually born in Sherman, but I got to McKinney as fast as I could.
Yeah. Well,
I like the answer.
yeah, absolutely. So, at what point did you kind of come into this? I mean, you graduated high school. Did you go to college?
I'm a nurse by trade.
Gotcha.
And then decided, my son went to college and some other things were going. My grandmother raised me, so she got sick and, things like that, broke her hip. I was working and I just needed to like semi-retire from that because
Sure.
I had too much stress going on.
Absolutely.
Boys in college.
Mhm.
I
I was a boy in college.
I was a boy in college.
Need
Briefly.
I say more?
Yeah.
And so with all the stress of everything, I started having a lot of physical, feeling bad all the time,
Sure.
just stress related stuff. And so I took some time off, and then a lot of times when an older person falls and breaks their hips, it's pretty much
Starts to decline.
Yeah, and usually within 6 to 8 weeks, they're dead.
That's what happened to my grandmother.
Not her.
My great grandfather.
No.
She was too ornery. She lived over a year and
Sounds
2
like my
months or so.
grandmother, too.
Yeah. So, but not knowing, any day, it was like literally every day is this day. And so I took time off from work, and I couldn't sit still at home, So I was just taking in little things off the side of the road in my neighborhood or, whatever, and just painting it up in the garage. And I stick it on Craigslist. That was when Craigslist was a thing.
Sure.
What year is this?
This has been about 8-9 years ago now.
Okay.
All right.
And so I was telling my husband I always had cash. It was kind of getting sketchy around the house. Like, what have you done? And so I was like, well, I'm like, we'd go out and eat, and I'm like, I got it. And so I told him one day, I said, do you realize I've been selling on Craigslist anywhere from $800 to $1,000 a week of trash, like literal trash.
Wow.
And just fixing it up, So
I
you
did
gotta
something
see
wrong
beyond.
in my life.
Yeah. It's just you got to see beyond it, just
Sure.
like with people, you sometimes don't judge a book by its cover, you know.
Sure.
So that kind of led to me going and setting up at a little flea market there in McKinney, not the big one, just a little small vintage one, and
On Chestnut Street.
on Louisiana Street.
Okay.
Yeah, it's back at the east side of it, and
Okay.
so I was there. That's called the Old Red Lumber Yard.
I know what you're talking about.
And
Like,
so I was there for about 2 years, and it's just 2 days a month, and I was $1,500
Yeah.
every single time. It was like boom, 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 making it. And so from there, I got a little brick and mortar shop. It was small, but it was home for me, and I enjoyed it. And then the one that I just moved out of, that was over 3,000 square foot.
Oh, wow.
It was really nice.
where was your first one?
It was on Virginia Street in
Okay.
McKinney. It was on the east side, but it was just a little, basically like a little shack.
Right.
And but I made it cute, and I was selling, and then
My
this,
mom bought it all.
she probably did.
I guarantee it.
And but then this building came up, and it was a no-brainer. It was double the space for the same amount of money that I was paying there. So I was like, okay. So I was there for 5.5 years.
Wow.
So I just moved out about 4 weeks ago. Little situations with the landlord came up with his insurance company and stuff. So they said it could only be retail space now. It can't be, I can't do my work there. So,
Gotcha.
he was good to me. He said, well, I'll take off some money if you want to stay for retail, but retail don't pay my bills.
Sure.
It's what I do is what pays the bills. So we decided to just go ahead. Since we're moving here to Leonard anyway, it would be a lot of traveling back and forth to McKinney every day.
Sure, and McKinney being McKinney, it's easy to get priced out
Yes.
too with real estate. So
Yes.
Leonard's probably not a. We had a realtor on a couple of episodes ago and talking about like we're still a small town, but it's coming
Yeah.
here too. You
Yeah.
know, so it might be a good time for you to move
Yep.
out here. You
Yep.
know, capitalize on some of the potential growth.
Absolutely. And then the taxes will tax you out in Collin County. So that's why
We're
we was
not-
kind of getting out of there.
We're not a big fan of taxes at
Yeah,
this
we're not
podcast.
either.
They have a lot of those weekend shoppers up there.
Absolutely.
That's what you're focusing on is
Yep.
that Plano, McKinney, Frisco mom.
Yep.
So you talked about how you realized you were selling that much money on Craigslist. Was there a moment when you went, "Whoa, I think I have something here"?
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of just came out of nowhere because it's like you just sit and think about it and like, wow, I've like really been selling some stuff, and it was kind of scary to get a an actual building, it was really not that big a deal at the flea market.
Sure,
I was
yeah.
there for like 2 years.
Well, there's no overhead.
No overhead. I paid like $150 a month. But then when I got that little building, it was
it has to work out.
Yeah, yeah. And at first I thought, well, I'm going to need to get, vendors in there to help pay the rent and that kind of deal. But, well, excuse me, but women are crazy. So that didn't last very long. And so that's that. So it ended up being just me,
Right.
and so every month, and God made the way,
Sure.
somehow or another, it got paid, and I was still moving, and so that's the way we do it.
So is there? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Is there anything you learned the hard way while doing that? Any sort of lessons you're like, man, I should have done that a little better.
As far as
Just running the business and
running the business, it's just you just go with it. You pay your bills and keep
Sure.
your stuff together, and stuff. But my biggest deal was actually not trying to depend on other people to help you, with that's your baby, and
Right.
so I learned not to do that.
Sure. Matthew, I think I interrupted you. You had something to say?
I was gonna say, do you still do like the quote unquote dumpster looking? I mean, you're always on the
yeah.
search for something.
Absolutely.
What's your bread and butter in like finds? Like, what do you find the most?
And don't give away a state secret here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. If you don't
Sure.
want to, if you don't want to
Yeah,
say,
I
then
won't
sure.
have-
But
yeah.
what are you looking for? You're like, I can use that, and that's common or something you.
I mean, I don't really ever have a thought in my mind to look for something specific because you never know what's going to be on the side of the road or on
Sure.
the curb, But if it's something good, I mean, even if it's broken,
Right.
we'll fix it. And but like I look a lot on the Facebook Marketplace,
Yeah.
And that kind of deal,
Yeah.
garage sales, thrift stores, china cabinets, buffets, stuff
Right.
like that.
Reclaimed wood.
I noticed a lot of
anything.
big wood
Mhm.
cabinets, I
Yeah,
guess. And
we build a lot of those too.
Okay.
We build a lot of those. It's like a dog crate.
Yep.
But it looks like a entertainment center and stuff,
Yep.
and so we build a lot
Barn
of that.
doors.
Barn
So it
doors,
sounds like a
farm
little bit of
tables.
hustling on you guys' part.
Hustle.
I'm just going picking the stuff up and
Yep.
and bringing it back.
Yep. I have a
do you think cabinet TVs are coming back?
like the big ones.
Console
No.
TVs.
Yeah.
No.
I feel like I've seen some of those lately.
Yeah. My wife showed me something. Came across her feed where somebody was watching an old,
Old school
retro
tube TV.
3x4 TV.
I think people are too lazy to get up and turn the channel now. I
I-
don't think
I
they'll ever come
always
back.
was
But he-
fascinated with the console TV aquarium.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Those always look so neat.
Yeah.
So
Never seen one of those.
really,
Yeah. I feel like I'm missing out.
on like Pee Wee Herman. Didn't they have something like that?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So where do you draw your inspiration for this stuff that you make?
Oh Lord.
You have
A lot of times, I mean, I just don't know if it's just in me. I mean, I've been this way.
sure.
I was thinking back one time about it when I was a little kid,
Sure.
and I'm like, I've literally always done that. I've always seen things that weren't, and I thought, oh, that could be better than that. Like old timey people like my grandma and them, they just thought it was trash. And
Yeah.
like
Sure.
my brother, he's quite a bit older than me, and he'd say, what do you want to do with that junk?
Well,
and,
times
I've
have
had a hard
changed.
time
Yeah.
cleaning out this building, just throwing stuff
could
away. I'm
do
like,
it.
I can probably use that
Yeah.
somehow, but it just sits there forever,
Yeah.
and I end up
It's
throwing it
borderline
away.
hoarder.
Yeah, you got to have a little hoarder
Yeah,
in you.
yeah.
We had a friend of ours, Jim McDonald, was an interview on here, and he's
Very much a hoarder.
very hoarder, creative.
Hoarder
Yeah,
in
he's
a
the one that
nice
helped
way.
make the big
Yeah,
Texas.
he
Yeah.
helped
And he
us
made
make that
that.
big Texas.
Right.
And that.
And
Yeah,
that.
that's cool.
He
Yeah.
made those. He does a lot of artsy fartsy stuff and
Yeah.
really
Yep.
cool stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, hoarding is part of it.
Yeah.
Oh man, my dad. I want to call him out here, but he's a rancher, has been all his life, and if you go out to his ranch, if you need something, it's probably there.
Oh, I love
Like,
it.
you
Yeah.
know, there's really no method to the madness.
Oh, no.
I'll say, hey, Dad, I need some baling wire. And he'll go, if you go to that tree,
Yeah.
there's something,
But he knows
Yep.
where
he
it's
knows
at.
where it's at.
Yep.
You know?
That's how my husband is. He's just like,
Yeah, I'm that way.
I got rid of
Yeah.
some stuff one day. I thought he'd never miss it. And he's like, it wasn't no time. He's like, where's my stuff at? I'm like,
My wife and I sounds just like us.
Yep. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My mom would clear things out if it were.
Oh,
You
sure.
know, it's. There's been many of headbutting sessions over.
Yeah.
over the,
I mean, I'm not married to nothing.
Sure.
I'm a hoarder as far as I want to keep it in case I need to do something with it. But then when I do something with it, I don't mind it going out the door. That's
Right.
what pays the bills. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's kind of funny. I guess my wife and I are kind of the same as my parents because I tend to hoard, and I always think, especially like weird paperwork, I'm like, I think I need
Yeah.
this later. And it'll sit there for like 2
Yeah.
years in
Oh,
a
yeah.
cabinet, and then she'll come, she says, it's been 2 years, you hadn't washed it. I'm like, okay, you can take it then, you know.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, like
are
a-
there anyone out there that you draw inspiration from? Any designers or anything like that?
There's several that like I watched their blogs and stuff like that. There's Liz Marie
Sure.
blog. Y'all heard her?
Nah, no, I
Oh,
was,
yeah, like sure.
yeah,
like,
yeah, no,
I know
I'm
her.
just,
Yeah,
He's lying.
She's
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
We're learning
just-
a lot about everybody
yeah,
here.
I'm just being an agreeable
Yeah,
host.
yeah. Liz Marie blog is really good.
It's all
And
my
then there's
favorites.
a young lady or ladies around my age in McKinney. She's called Thistlewood Farms.
Mhm.
And we went to school together, but she moved off, and then she actually came back to Texas and bought her childhood home. And she has a lot of cute,
Sure.
inspiration. She's written books and stuff, and and stuff. So I really like enjoying watching her and everything like that.
One of the friends of the show, his wife Katie, she is insanely talented at doing stuff like this, and she had a spot in Denton, kind of like your spot, for a while, and she brought home a deer head that she had found and painted it white, and we both kind of ribbed her about it, like, oh, I don't know, and she sold it for some ungodly amount of money, and I thought, man, there is something for
Yeah.
everybody out
Yes,
there.
there's one of my friends. She has one of the skulls, the dead skull, and she had it blinged out with like some turquoise.
Oh yeah, rhinestones
And,
probably.
Yeah, it was crazy, and it was expensive. I think she bought it.
You can hydro dip those. They look really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
I've seen that
I've
too.
seen that too. Yeah, this one was like a full like shoulder mount with hair and all.
Oh,
And she
wow.
painted
Oh,
it
wow.
white.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Yeah, you'd
Wow.
be surprised what white paint will do.
I know it. Well, obviously the big comparison, right, is Chip and Joanna
Oh,
Gaines,
yes,
right?
uh-huh.
And so you started kind of doing this in 2009. No telling what they were doing
Before
about
them.
that. Yeah, but it's crazy what they've done for Waco.
It is crazy.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm from Central Texas, and we were kind of down around Waco, and it used to be not a destination
Yeah.
city.
Right, I know. Yeah.
I still don't think of it as but some people do,
Yeah,
and
it
they are
is.
down there, and it is busy all
Yep.
the time.
When I first started, like with him being in the remodeling and stuff, we were always doing something with shiplap, and all the time people was like, "Well, what is shiplap? What now? It's a household name, hashtag shiplap, and it's
We
like,
got it in our
what?
house.
Yeah.
I did a wall over the weekend.
Yeah, you
I
got it
mean,
in your house now
It's
too.
a household thing, and she brought that to the table, and I had a couple of my followers that have been following me on Facebook since the beginning have reminded me. She's like, "You were talking about shiplap before I ever even heard of Joanna Gaines," and I'm like, "Well, but she brought it up, so
Right,
that's
right.
her thing now,
In
but
Waco.
whatever."
Yeah, it was a flyover town.
Yeah.
It's not anymore.
She had a very small shop there, and I don't know what started, the whole deal, but yeah, she started out basically like how I did. And matter of fact, about 3 years ago, we were contacted by HGTV.
Really?
Yes, and
Cool.
it was kind of like surreal because I got an email, and she said she was from the development
Sure.
department. And she laughed and told me, she said, normally my job is to go out and find, whoever. She said, but one of our executive producers found you on
Ah.
Facebook, and she came down to me and told me to go get you.
Wow.
And it didn't pan out. It was, I don't know what her pitch was. She had a pitch that she was going to do. And so I'm still out there in the paperwork land, I guess, but we'll see. But I really didn't want my life to change like that.
Sure.
I'm just a hometown girl. I don't care about all that.
Well, and I think it has. Obviously for them financially, I'm sure it's been a windfall, but there is a price to pay when
Exactly.
that happens.
Yeah.
you
I
know?
just can't imagine living my life different.
Not being able to walk down
Yeah.
the street
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah.
But those millions of dollars might help with that.
I mean,
I don't know.
I could probably, but
Yeah.
I just
Suffer
I
through
was-
it. Yeah.
but I think it does take away. I mean, I didn't say for them. I'm
Sure.
talking for me personally.
Sure.
I'd be afraid it would take away my livelihood that I'm used to now. So
Well, it's funny when those things catch fire because, like, obviously they blew up, and then HGTV and DIY channel and all that kind of. There was a whole host of people that came behind that, and there was some because my wife and I watched that, and there was another one. I can't remember what it was called, but it wasn't very good. Like the people weren't very good. We were
Right.
always watching it, going,
what
"I
is?
can't believe they're
Yeah.
filming this and putting it on TV."
Yeah,
but
I've
maybe that's a
seen some of
taste thing.
those. It
I don't
is.
know.
I think it is.
So,
I actually read a recommendation on your Facebook page. Somebody said that they put you on their home design bucket list.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
That's interesting.
That
Wow.
is
You
high
were on
praise.
somebody's
Back on it.
bucket list.
I have been on bucket list.
Up
I've
there,
had 'em tell
up
me
there
that.
with quote the two from Waco and the quote cousins from Iowa.
Oh, is that right?
Who's
I
that?
think his cousins or brothers or something like that.
Yeah. Does
I
anybody-
wasn't
no
familiar.
idea.
They gave two examples that were very vague.
Wow.
That's
really?
funny.
That's high praise.
I guess so.
So I guess they had
I
been.
don't
for you.
remember
They
seeing
had been to Waco,
Mm-hmm.
and they had been to your shop. I guess in McKinney.
Oh, okay.
So you must have met him. I guess.
Yeah,
I'm sure
I've
you
had
commented. or
I've had
something.
a lot of people come in, especially the old, they're RVing people, and whoever, and they've come into the shop and said I was on their bucket list with the Waco and there's some girls out in Round Top jump gypsies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Round Top's
so,
a huge destination,
so I
right?
always
So-
think it's kind of cool that I'm right there, and I
Wow.
don't even have a TV show. It's just Facebook.
No, that's awesome.
You operate on Facebook then?
That's it.
Is that your?
No,
that's
no
it?
Instagram.
I have Instagram.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
yeah.
it's not as big because the Facebook is over 250,000 followers, but
Oh,
on
wow.
Instagram is going on 10,000.
Oh,
Cool.
jeez, that's
Wow.
that's not. I think we got
Look,
900 followers or
Yeah.
something
Well,
here on this one.
There's
so.
a lot of space for it out there. There's a lot of people doing what
Yeah.
you're doing, and
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a lot of people consuming what you're
Right.
doing even more.
Yep.
So you're in a very big pool.
Yeah.
Well, I think the reason that is it's accessible to normal folks,
Right.
We had a friend that lived in the Frisco area, and she had a high end antique shop, and about the time Chip and Joanna and all that started in the Pickers on the
Right.
History Channel or whatever, American Pickers, it changed the dynamic
Right.
Yeah.
of what was going. So people weren't spending thousands of dollars for some 1700s armoire. They wanted your dad's armoire that you repainted
Yep.
or whatever.
And a lot of them, they have their kids, and they don't want the house to be so stuffy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
if the kid runs the car across the buffet, no problem. It's
Right.
already distressed. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more comfortable feel for the home. But
Yeah, and the whole the online sales, I think, have changed the dynamic of
Oh,
everything, and
it's
not
gotta be.
just like you're talking about antiques, but I know like the automobile industry.
Yep.
Everyone thinks that their car in their yard is worth, a fortune.
Yeah.
So, and it's not just that; it's trickled down to everything. So
Right.
you could go on Facebook, you can go on Craigslist, and find anything your heart desires
Yep.
on there
Absolutely.
at your fingertips.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's definitely why you and the other people we've mentioned have come, because people don't have to go spend $10,000
Right.
on one
Yeah.
item. You can
Yeah.
you can go and go, oh no, I got this table I upcycled and I'll
Right.
sell it to you for 1,000 or
Right.
whatever.
Are you guys
Absolutely.
heavy in online sales, or is it more?
No, I never
more about
want it
orders?
because it's big furniture,
Yeah.
and I mean, there's the white glove service and that kind of stuff, but I just, if it gets broken, there ain't enough insurance that's going to replace, because
Sure.
a lot of
Right.
the stuff is just one of a kind.
Most of what
Sure.
you're doing is big.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so, but I've had people literally drive from Georgia, from Kansas, there's one lady that comes.
It's got to be women.
Yeah, well, and they drag their husbands,
Well,
and
sure.
There's a
They-
man there, I
there's a
promise.
man, he's got to load it.
He's
but-
shaking his
Grapping.
head.
Yeah, loading it,
Yeah.
grapping.
Yeah, I've had 'em, I've had men that'll wander into the shop, and some like, I'm never gonna mention this to my
Yeah.
wife,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
some will say, I've got to bring my wife back,
Turn it right
so
back
you
around.
never know. It's like, oh Lord, but yeah.
I was just looking for a cup of coffee. Yeah, a friend of ours, we built a house about 1.5 years ago, and a friend of ours she does kind of the same stuff she does, you do out of Round Rock. And I made several trips down there
Yep.
picking up Chester
And
drawers
you
and
loved
stuff.
every minute of it. Don't
Yes,
try
I
to act like you
did.
didn't.
I saw
it's fine.
little kind of little items for Christmas and things
Yeah,
like that. Is that the kind of thing you're stocking
I will
in the
mail
store?
those. I will
Right.
ship those out, those little things, but not furniture.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, those are fun.
Cool.
So,
Uh,
is there a piece that you're particularly
That's
proud
exactly
of?
where I was about to go.
Like, is there something that you look back and go, man, I kind of made my brand
Yeah,
on
some that
that.
stick out maybe that you're really proud of, or
Mm.
that you'd like to have back for yourself maybe.
Probably a lot of those. Sometimes because we'll put the I don't want to sell price on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
gets
And
sold.
you'd be surprised.
Yep.
Like, okay, well,
Yeah, like a white deer
yeah,
head.
Yeah.
there you go. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, because he'll design a lot of stuff. My husband will design a lot of stuff, and at first you're like, I don't know, because it's not something you see every day. And
Sure.
but really, those kind of things are the things that a lot of people want. They don't want to see what every neighbor and every person in their neighborhood has the same
Oh, yeah.
IKEA or Nebraska Furniture Mart stuff, and
Yep.
Yeah.
they want something different. So when they see it's different, then they want it.
Yeah.
I have a theory that's because of what digital music has done, and used to, our CD case was an expression of our personality.
Exactly.
You used to curate, and you put the ones
yeah.
you wanted to see,
Yeah.
and now it's all in the phone, so
Yep.
you
Yeah.
can't show that. So it stands to reason that people want one of a kind things in their
Exactly.
home.
Yeah, never underestimate what people will pay for individuality.
Absolutely.
You would be. We've been blown away sometimes. We had one man was redoing a room for his man cave, and we had an old bottle opener, and we had 3 of them, and they were all the same. They came out of an old store in downtown in McKinney. It used to be called Boland's Grocery, and so he was a little staple of McKinney. And so when they were tearing down everything, the son and granddaughter was selling off. So we got a couple of those, and we didn't really want to sell them because we're from McKinney. We
Sure.
want to keep some of that stuff. Well, a guy comes in there and he just my husband popped off at the mouth when the man said how much, and he's like $100. He bought it.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
like, wow. He's
Wow.
like, this is perfect for my,
Too
He
much
comes
money
back-
in McKinney.
Exactly. And he comes back a couple months later looking for some other things, and we had replaced the one that he bought with another one, and he saw it, and he pulls out his wallet and goes, I want to buy that one too.
Goodness
And my
gracious.
husband's like, no, I'm really keeping that one because that was the last one we had.
sure.
So, but it was funny. I was like,
Be
wow,
kind of hard to turn that down,
crazy.
though.
I know.
Yeah.
So are you up to date on closeouts like that, building, tear downs, and are
Right
you kind
now,
of like
yeah.
in the loop on that? And I'm sure there's some
I have
Facebook
a picker
group.
in East Texas that we go to. He goes out and does a lot of that kind of stuff, and he'll call me, and he's real slow talking like those East Texas. And he'll say,
Does
"Hey,
he
can
like
you
to
get
sell,
down
or does he
here?"
like to hold
I
on?
resemble
to
that remark.
It depends. It depends. Most of the time, he's ready. He'll
it? Might
get
have a
rid
little
of it.
contact for you
Yeah.
if you want to
Yeah.
contact after the
Yeah.
show.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
He
you
likes
guys
to
might
hold
can
on
help
to-
each other out.
He likes to
Yep.
hold on to a lot, though.
And his
Yeah.
wife wants him to get rid of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So-
Yeah.
He's a motivated seller.
Yes. Well, it was funny because
Talk to her.
yeah, I'm gonna talk to her. Well, it was funny because when we first met him, his name's Charlie. Charlie, I'm giving you a plug.
Yep.
But Charlie,
What's up, Charlie?
when we first met, it was me and my friend and my husband went because I met him at Canton. He's this scruffy old guy. He's like, you girls need to come down.
Oh,
to my
Charlie.
barn.
Yeah, I know Charlie.
You know
I
Charlie?
am just kidding.
And we were just looking like, I'm not going to his barn.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
And so my husband went with us, and everything my husband picked up and was like, how much is that? He's like, I think I'm gonna keep that. But we'd say it, and he'd say whatever, he'd say, stick in your pile. He's just gonna give it to us. Say, stick in your pile. So finally we caught on. So my husband said, he mouthed it to me, ask him how much that is. And so he warmed up to him after a while, but
Right.
at first he wasn't selling nothing to that man. He was like, only to the girls. That was so funny. But he's real good to us. So we
that's
get
good.
some good wood, and just he has always has some weird stuff up there.
Well, there are things to be had in Deep East Texas too.
Yeah.
Woo, barns and stuff that
Yes.
have
Oh,
just been touched for generations.
We
you know.
went down there, it's been about 6 months ago or so, and got a ton of old ceiling tile, the fancy stuff,
No.
loaded up the whole back end of our truck. So those Christmas trees and stuff that you saw, that's what we used out of that, and we make all kinds of stuff with that.
The tin.
old tin.
Yeah, tin ceiling tile.
Oh, like
Oh
your
yeah, those are
Texas-
cool.
Like your Texas signs and stuff, you can make the shape and then just cover it
Yep.
with that. It's really cool. People buy that stuff. It's crazy.
Yep.
Sometimes you just
Yeah.
frame a piece of it and they use it for art,
Yeah.
so be surprised.
Wow.
Reuse, reduce, recycle.
Yep, that's
Yeah,
it.
that's what it
Mhm.
is.
Yep.
Huh? Oh.
I always forget the second one. I just throw
You
it in
can
the trap.
throw something in
I
there.
throw it
it's
in the
fine.
street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Litter bug.
Maybe she'll help clean Leonard up a little bit because there's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff sitting around in
Oh,
yards here.
Oh,
Yeah.
we call it goosenecking.
Yeah.
I drive by somewhere and I'm goosenecking like,
Yeah.
oh, I wonder if they want to get rid of that.
Yeah.
And so we'll stop and we'll knock
It's-
on the door.
It's funny. My dad's got a similar hobby.
Mhm.
He likes to take pictures of himself on discarded like
Furniture.
chairs and furnitures,
Oh.
like all over the world.
Yeah?
He's done it in literally all over the world.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
But yeah, he's always on the lookout for some
Different reasons,
discarded furniture for
We were
different
in the
reasons.
middle
yeah.
of Times Square in New York. We had a girls' trip, and there was this bunch of pallets on trash, and I made them take a picture and going, I'm gonna make something
Take
with that. I'm taking that home. But of course they wouldn't allow it on the plane. So
What's one of the more strange objects or items you've found or picked up, or either for free, or just a strange piece from Charlie?
Oh, well, see,
Maybe.
for me, I wouldn't buy it because I wouldn't be able to sell it.
Right.
Like that's the whole point of me buying. But he had what was it called? It was a coffin. He had a coffin one time. It was
wow.
weird.
Yeah.
And then he had a
Oh, but one recycled.
yeah, I know.
I feel like there's bad juju in owning a coffin.
Yeah, I don't like that. And then he had this old doctor bed. It was old. It was really cool. It folded up, I guess, for like when they used to go to house calls and stuff. He had some really cool stuff, but he's real funny. He came out. He had a wooden toilet lid, and he opened it and he put it like right up to his face, and he goes, "This is my mother-in-law's picture frame." So we laughed about that. It was funny. So most of the weird, funny stuff we would see there at, where he at Charlie's.
You said you met him in Canton.
Mm-hmm.
So when was the first time you had ever been to Canton?
That was only my second time, and that was my last time. I've gone to Canton twice.
Was that 09?
That was
9 years.
probably
Yeah, about 11, I guess.
It was probably about.
You said 9 years ago.
9 years ago, so it's probably been at least 7 or 8 years.
So when I was in the 90s, right?
Oh, yeah.
I was 10 or 15 years
I bought
old.
pocket knives and
It was a different
snaps.
world.
Oh,
it was
yes.
like the largest flea market in the world. It wasn't so like crafts and commercialized. I mean, it was huge,
Right.
but you could go and it was truly people just brought their junk out. It would have been your dream.
Oh yes.
But now it's a little like, quilts and
Yeah.
stuff. So
New stuff.
yeah, I haven't been in a long time. But
I used
Yeah.
to go with Mom.
go to
all the time.
Dogtown, look at all
Yeah.
the pets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I liked it. I was a big fan. I mean,
For baseball cards was my thing back in the day.
the shotgun I still use. We bought there
Oh wow.
at Canton.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
guns used to be big at Trades Day.
No, we
Not
it
anymore.
was like 1996 or something. So yeah.
Spent a lot of time at the McKinney one too.
Yeah.
Bonham.
I'm sure
think
you've
they're-
probably picked it a few times.
The McKinney one.
Yeah.
It's kind of getting there too, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been out to the bottom one?
There. To what?
Bonham?
Yeah, Bonham has
I think
one.
we've been there.
Is it
No,
second
we haven't
Monday?
Been to
Second.
The bottom. We haven't been
Yeah.
to the bottom one yet.
Yeah, you should go there because
Is
it's
they still trashy.
yeah,
That's
pretty
what-
much.
That's what I like.
Probably-
You hadn't been to bottom much, have
Well,
you?
Probably fewer rules there from.
when I say trashy, I say that with love and respect.
Yeah.
As
yeah.
do
I'm
we.
serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we?
Sometimes.
Like I was gonna name myself White Trash at its finest,
Yeah.
but my husband wouldn't let me.
Yeah.
You still
Hey,
can.
there's a market there
You
for
still
that too.
can.
I promise.
Well, it is,
You guys set up a different page for your.
for the house.
The house, didn't
because
you?
the Dumpster Diva is a business page, so
Okay.
I wanted to do something fun for the house, so I call it our Nestoration.
Okay.
Oh.
And the reason I came up with that is I was visiting my best friend in Connecticut, and we were on the Connecticut River, and the tour guide was telling us all this stuff, and we actually saw eagles and the osage bird and all that. And as the lady was talking, she's talking about the nest that they do, and she said that the osage birds are real lazy birds, and they just throw nests together, and that first big wind they're no good, and
Sounds like my
kind of
spirit
stuff like that. And she talking about the eagle's nest are very sturdy, and they take their time, and they do a really good job. They're master craftsmen with their nest. And she said, so she was just, rambling on about all that. And she said, and so when it's time to do their nestorations and and I forgot everything else. That nestoration just stuck in my head, and it sounded kind of cool, like because we're empty nesters.
Oh.
When people call your house your nest.
Sure.
And it's a restoration. So I was like, I'm going to start
Perfect.
a Facebook page called
Have you looked
Our
up the hashtag?
Nestoration. I haven't. Is there one?
I'm sure.
Well, I'll make one if there's not.
If there's
there
not, you
wasn't,
got
There
something,
wasn't a
start using it.
Facebook page, anything about
I would be
restoration.
hashtagging everything with
I'm
that.
gonna start. Yeah, as soon as it starts going big, then I'm gonna nest, and I'm gonna be doing a lot of live Facebooks on the progress of the house.
Oh, we tried
And,
that once or twice.
Yeah.
It's
Here at
fun.
the Siren.
I wish that we would have been able to do it with my son's house, because that, if y'all have seen the pictures, it's something that was crazy.
I'd
But,
start using that hashtag if I were you.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing.
That's your TV show if you
Yeah.
ever want it.
There you go.
You better
Our
use it before I
Nestoration.
use it.
Hey, buddy, you better back up.
I don't see it on there.
Okay, I'm gonna hashtag it.
Yeah,
y'all,
that's yours.
y'all start hashtagging.
Cool.
it.
We
That's
will.
yours.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
So yeah, I
Um,
thought it was cool. So I just thought, well, that's kind of cool. I want to name my just restoration house.
Sure.
That. So that's
So
gonna be
when you get out here, what do you expect the timeline to be as far as like project? I mean, I guess
I'm getting that whip
Really?
cracking. You know, we're
Do you mind
I think
sharing
I
some
heard a heavy
details about
sigh
the
from that.
house and maybe what the state it's in now, what you want to do with it?
the house right now. So it was built in 1960. The story I got from Buster was that he grew up here, Miss Dr. Speeves. I believe that's how they
Doc
said
Speed's old place.
Yes,
Mhm.
Doc Speeves' old place. And so he grew up here and went to the war or went on somewhere, and then he comes back and became a dentist. And he built that house and never married, never had children. So when he built that house, that was the last thing that was ever done to it. It still has the paneling, you know, it's literally like you walk back into the time of 1960 when you walk in that house. So it, you know, it smells old, like an old musty house. So first things first, you know, I gotta get that out of there. So we're gonna, you know, get the smell out, start painting, probably take down the paneling, that kind of stuff. It did have some some shiplap in some areas, so we'll keep that going. But we're gonna knock some walls down, and we're gonna make it look nice. I've got some Pinterest ideas that I just found pictures that kind of resembled those rooms, and kind of put together. If you saw the Nestoration page, I put some of those on there and stuff. Just is my vision. So
You've got like the arched brickwork on the
yes, I love it. So
the patio,
like
I
I
guess?
can't all the way around was like the porch is two sides, and it's got the arch. It's called a Tudor style home is what they would call that. And so a lot of the Tudor style homes have the old cedar beams in the ceiling. So we're going to add some of those just to keep that going and keep that theme. But I'm trying to keep it Tudor looking, you know, keep it with the period.
Jason, would you say that's a pretty well-known house?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
So it's one of the more interesting houses here in town.
Might want to check out the second volume of Leonard history book we have over there. Probably a
yeah.
story about
yeah, there probably
the
is.
doctor.
Yeah.
You know, my wife and I, when we first got married, we built a house in Little Elm, just in a tract home neighborhood, and we ended up selling that after several years and moved to Denton, and we got this. It was built in like 1930 or something. It was kind of a mid-century modern style, and we thought we wanted to be handy and all that, but we learned we're not that people. We're not those people.
You either are or
No.
you're not. There's really not any in betweens.
No,
So,
it really isn't.
yeah.
We did some. Her dad is very handy. That we actually bought the house from them. It was a rent house for them, and he came up and helped us. We put beadboard in the bathroom and did that. But once he was gone, I was kind of like, I don't know what to do, you know. But
Yep.
but I always enjoy seeing things that are old get refreshed.
Right.
So that's a cool project for that house.
It's in my blood. I told a story the other day. This is just funny, but so my mom, this was kind of, my therapy from dealing with her illness and everything. And then when she passed away, I kind of sat around, didn't do very much. And this month is her birthday month. So her birthday was January 19th, 1923. So when I was little, we went walking one day, and there was some trash on the side of the road a couple of blocks away from our house, and it was this round suitcase thing. And so she picked it up, and she said, "This is too good to be in the trash. I'm keeping that." She was a seamstress, so she said, "I can keep my patterns in that, So she picked it up, and I was like 8, 9 years old, and I was like, what if there's a head in it or something? I was all the way home just being silly as a 9-year-old kid, And she, being my mom, she went along, well, I hope not, that kind of stuff. So we get it home, and she sets it up on the table, and it's round, so she's unzipping it, and she's doing it real slow, playing with me, and we're just like, and I'm just like anticipating a head in it. So she opens it, and we both jump back, like scream to the top of our lungs. It was a head in it. There was a styrofoam head with a wig.
Oh, my
It was a
God.
wig thing.
Wow.
We laughed so
Jeez.
hard. So, I was right. There was a head in it. But, of course, her being the mother, she was like, there ain't no head in there. And then when she saw that head,
Oh,
we
man.
laughed so hard. So I laughed the other day. I've dedicated this month to my mom on Facebook all the time. And so I told that little story, and I was like, it was so funny. It's a wonder I've ever picked up anything else off the curb since then. But
That's good.
it didn't scar me too bad. But, yeah, so she was the original dumpster diva.
But that's what started it, huh?
Yeah, I
You
guess
saw
so.
her like,
I'm like, no, I ain't doing it.
we might can find a head if we keep looking.
The funniest thing we found that I think is funny was and a drawer some false teeth. That was gross.
Oh,
Yeah, some false teeth. I'm like, don't touch those. So
I've seen
but-
like storage wars. I
Yeah,
guess they find goofy
Weird
stuff like
stuff,
the false teeth. They tried to sell it, and it was.
no, it's
I don't
throw
think
them in the
anybody's gonna buy
trash.
that.
Yeah,
You know, false teeth have been abused because they didn't take care of their first set.
exactly.
know?
That's a good call.
like some residual meth on
Yeah.
there or
Yeah.
something. Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah, that's nasty.
I know people that's found like firearms.
We found
Yeah.
a sword
Whoa,
once.
cool.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool
That's cool,
sword.
wow.
Yeah, it was in a armoire thing, and we were moving around, and it was stuck on the back side of it, and
Mm-hmm.
we heard something clank or something, and we pulled out. It was a really cool old sword.
Dang old
Wow.
sword.
Yeah,
We found a
sword.
safe once and spent way too much effort opening it up to find nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I got a magnet for Christmas of like a magnet fishing magnet. You ever heard of it? Magnet fishing? It's a big magnet, really heavy duty magnet. You can just throw it into a pond or a
Oh,
river or
yeah.
lake.
See
or
what comes
something
up.
and see what you can find. I went out to a pond behind my house and pulled up a knife,
wow.
like a old CB antenna. Went out to a creek on a dirt road back here and picked up a DVD player.
Oh wow,
Hmm.
that could be addicting. I think it would be fun.
It is. I want to find a gun. That's why I brought
Or
that
no
up.
like,
Jimmy Hoffa's
Yeah,
body.
just
or-
don't touch it
Yeah.
because it could be
Might solve a
serious.
crime.
I mean, really,
That'd be cool.
that would be
Mm.
cool.
My dad got a magnet too. There's an old well on our place, and we want to go see what's in there because the old man that owned the place before us, he didn't trust the banks too much, so we don't know if like
Yeah, I
maybe
know.
there's
Yeah.
something
Coffee cans full of money
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
You never
think
know.
I think actually the most interesting thing that we've ever got. I was trying to think. I can't think all at once. But now that I'm thinking about it, was we got a call from a lady, and her great, I believe it was just 2 greats, it might have been 3, was Colin McKinney, who
Oh, wow.
Collin County.
Jeez.
And she had a ton of stuff. They had built a house. It was one of those Sears kit homes, even, and it was off towards the Houston area. And they were moving everything out of it. And she asked me if I could come and get all this stuff because they didn't have anywhere to put it. So I bought like literally a trailer and truckload full for like $300.
Oh wow.
And it was the Colin McKinney's descendant stuff, and it had letters, handwritten letters in there. Gone are those days, but
Wow.
it had some. We found some really
What'd you
cool
do with
stuff in that. Sold a lot of it, and a lot of it was just stuff
Kinda
in
trash.
drawers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hated to, but
Sure.
I'm not keeping all that. But it was a several months of of
Picking
everything
through
that-
it.
Yeah, and everything that I was selling pretty much was from that estate, so it was kind of cool.
There wasn't too long ago that somebody in Whitewright, they found all the like Hitler's artwork and
Oh, wow.
all of that stuff. It was in
Really?
somebody's storage building. It was a guy. He was a private in the 101st Airborne or whatever in
Right.
World War II, and he stole some paintings,
Uh-oh.
some plates and stuff. And I mean, it was and I guess throughout the war, Hitler had also the Nazis had stole artwork.
Right.
And I guess wherever they took over and they found it, he pilfered some of that stuff, and it was like millions of dollars worth. And they
Wow.
found it in Whitewright over here about
Wow.
10 years
That's
ago.
crazy.
Y'all remember that?
No.
No, that's
I'll
news
look it
to
up.
me.
Might be out there by that new Disney World or something.
Oh yeah,
No, this is legit. This
Patrick
is-
Swayze's house or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. What's up with that?
yeah, I heard of that. Yeah.
Man, did you hear? Disney World just bought 1,000 acres out. by
Was it
Baum.
Patrick Swayze's house everywhere, like in every little town?
No, well,
We had a rumor that Patrick Swayze lived out here, and
Yeah.
is that like the
I'm not sure.
rumor? I think Disney's kind of like the rumor.
Disney is the one because
Across
we
the
had it
country?
in Buffalo too. We had
Okay.
heard that Disney
Yeah.
had just bought land, but
Well-
Patrick Swayze's house. Like when we moved here, that was one of the first things I remember. They're like, "Oh, Patrick Swayze has a
Yeah.
ranch over there."
Yeah.
Turns out it's not true.
Not true.
It's like in New Mexico or something.
Yeah.
Well, in like 50 years after I'm dead or whatever, they're gonna be saying that's Dumpster Diva's house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So your
Don't
your
forget
great,
about Doc Spees.
yeah, your
Yeah.
grandkids and great grandkids could benefit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they-
They're gonna end up in the volume 3
Yeah.
yeah,
of the Leonard history book.
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
So, do you get? I saw something about classes.
Mhm.
Do you do classes?
I do.
Are you bringing that to town?
I will. Yeah, I
Yeah.
will eventually. I got to get settled in and get my stuff going first. But
What are the classes?
Yeah, what
look
are those?
like?
Well, the way I did them in the shop was I would just collect little end tables, nightstands, chairs, and I had it just kind of in a little area. It's called my pick and pile, and they get to come in and pick a piece of furniture, and then from there, they would take it home all redone and however they wanted to do it, paint it,
Cool.
Wow.
all that kind of stuff. And those classes are $150 a pop. But you get the furniture, the paint, the expertise behind it.
Yeah.
You know, you get to do it. It's all hands on.
I wish you'd have been here when we were building our house. You probably could have saved me some money.
Yeah, a lot. You know,
Cool.
and some
Hear that, Ashley?
I've actually had. There's one little girl out there that took my class early on, and when I first started doing them, and she's actually her Facebook page is called Why Not Redesign, and she's gone on to make a business. She was working in the corporate world and took my class and loved it. Her and her daughter took the class, and now for several years now, she doesn't work in the corporate world anymore.
Cool.
She does
Wow.
this. Yeah. So
Y'all going to see me
I'm
in
proud
that
of
class.
That's very
Yeah.
inspiring.
Posting on Lisa
I'm very
Marie's blog.
proud. Yeah.
You know?
And but they're fun. I've had some husband and wife teams come out and do it, and just for a day off to do stuff.
Do you offer wine?
Yeah, I was about
No.
to say, offer wine or beer, and
Yeah.
you'll
No,
get some people.
Sweet tea.
Oh,
Sweet
man.
tea and
Ooh,
cookies.
there you go.
Yeah,
Now
there
you're
you
in
go.
Fannin County, though. You're going to have to up that a little bit.
Yeah, I say I can't handle a bunch of drunk women all at my. Yeah, I'm good. We'll just do that.
That's smart.
We'll
That's
just
smart.
do tea.
Well,
Yeah, it's kind of like painting with a twist, but you're
Yeah.
making furniture.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
you
you're
know.
branched out in
like it.
several different directions.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it was what I called the icing on the cake. I mean, I've had
How did that develop?
the classes
Yeah.
very good. I mean, like I was
Like, how'd you
having
come
them-
up with it? Went necessity or like, let's see if this
no,
works?
Just people always asking, do you have classes? I'm
So
really
once you
just a
teach
fan.
them how to do it, do they come back?
I've had a lot of people come back, and they're just wanting to do it as a girls' day
Sure.
thing.
I'd rather
Activity.
I'd rather you
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'll just turn 'em around, kick them in their pants, and say, "No, ma'am, you pass the class. You go do
Yeah.
it yourself." But I'll do their work. They say,
Sure.
"I just don't want to mess it up." They don't have the confidence to do it or whatever. But I've had, like I said, her and another one called, I think hers is called Tulip Wood. She took my class, and now she makes a little side
Wow.
hustle
very
with
cool.
it. So, it doesn't bother me a bit. There's enough to go around for everybody, so I enjoy watching them grow their businesses and stuff.
That's really
Cool.
neat. So does anyone ever come to you with something specific in mind and ask you to make that
Yep.
for them?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's my bread and butter.
Oh,
That's,
okay.
That's why I didn't stay at the shop, because retail of actually just having things there and somebody walk in and goes, "Ooh, I want that,"
That could be a
that-
slow return, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
get a
know,
lot of
that is
browsers.
almost like a gamble,
You might sit on that thing for a year or two.
Exactly. Well, no, not too. No.
No, not in McKinney.
No.
You
No.
might hear.
If you sit on it for 3 months, that's too long,
Yeah.
But you just take your losses, whatever. But
Sure.
mostly, we get a lot of custom work. Whether they have things that they like, this set right here is a very, very common set that I would do. This oak table and chairs. Matter of fact, I just got
For
an
those of you
estimate today.
listening, this is my old kitchen table from when I was
Yeah.
about eight years
This is
old or
called
so.
press back chairs.
Yeah.
These are
Can you make this
amazing
over
painted.
to make
Oh,
it more
yes.
12
I'll
o'clock
sell
siren?
them to you.
Hey,
I've got a ping pong table.
He's
we
an
can do this on.
entrepreneur,
I
too.
see that.
You can't sell our
They
table.
don't call me Dumpster Diva for nothing. I don't buy too much stuff.
We'll be sitting on the floor. Matthew
Yeah,
has his
no
way.
kidding.
No, but we can paint it, make it look pretty.
Yeah, we need it to fit us a little
But
bit
this
better.
is
I've got an
very
extra chair. I'll
common.
give it to you to paint up if you want.
Yeah, it's pretty. They're real pretty
You
painted.
can use
up.
it yourself.
A lot of times I'll get these and I'll use them in the workshops and stuff. People love painting these. They're fun. But so where we going with that? I don't even know now.
Oh, we were talking
Welcome
about
to the
you.
siren. We do that a
Yeah,
lot.
what
Yeah.
was you talking
That
We were
about?
talking
happens.
about you doing things
Oh
specifically.
yeah. Yeah,
People
so-
have something in mind.
Yeah, they'll have like the right before Christmas. We had a huge the client had a huge wall space, kind of on the niche, So it's like that's where their TV goes, and they had gone shopping in the big box stores and everything, and nothing was more than like 6 foot, wide, and this was like 110 inches, like long. It's like 10 feet. So they had us build their TV entertainment center.
Cool.
It was 102 inches long, I think,
Wow.
and they still had space on both sides, but
Very
they
nice.
wanted to fill in the space. So we get a lot of custom build things and paint their old stuff.
Yeah,
'cause
what's your
it's
number one
cheaper.
question in your inbox on Instagram or Facebook or whatever it is? What are people asking you?
Mostly, I don't know.
Can you do this?
Can I do something? Yeah.
Just-
Usually, I mean, that's all day. I mean, that's where that, like I said, that's my bread and butter. You know.
Yeah.
when
Have
they-
you ever gone, I am absolutely not doing that?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Really?
yeah. Or I kicked myself for doing it. You know,
Or
so,
for charging too little?
very much so. That's
Say, will
that
you
is
paint
one
this
of the
deer
lessons
head?
learned.
And you say no.
No, and then they're sold for thousands. Yeah. Yeah, but that is one of the lessons I learned a long time ago. Is like when people say, "How much will you charge to paint this?" You know, whatever, and I say, "Oh, you know," I just throw out a number, and then they get it to me, and they want me to do this and that, and I'm like,
Well, that's not what, that wasn't the original
Yeah.
commission.
Yeah,
Well,
it's not in the bid.
"Well,
Yeah.
I didn't ask," you know, and so you learn real early
Yeah.
on, and so now my first thing is I say, "Do you have any inspiration pictures of what you want it to look like?" Because some people, their terms are different, like mine.
It's a good way to
whitewashing-
clear up
Yeah,
how to
absolutely.
approach
Yes,
your.
clear it up. And you know, some people might say, "I want it whitewashed." Well, whitewash to me is, you know, you water down the paint to half, you know, mostly water, and you wash it. That's called whitewashing. Or if they want it painted in distress, then you paint it pretty solid. Then you come in
Right.
distress off the edges. So terms are different, and people don't always know.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so,
So
I always
distress
say,
costs more, I'm sure. More man hours than that.
it's a little bit more, yeah. But you know, I just say, send me a picture off Pinterest or something that, you know, that way we're on the same page before I ever throw out a
Yeah.
price.
Yeah,
So
I'll
you
do it
learn
for
that for-
$100
Yeah,
and
right.
it comes out and it's a stained glass or
Horrible.
something.
Yeah.
You know?
And sometimes I'll throw out a much heftier price because I really don't want to do it. So I mean,
That's me.
and they'll still do
Yeah.
it. They'll and I'm like,
$7,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an electrician, and people hit
Oh.
me up for side work all the time. I usually tell them that they can't afford me. 'Cause I'm
Well,
not really
might need
interested.
I might need some electrical stuff done. So don't.
It's too expensive.
on the
Yeah,
side?
I'm not sure if you can afford me or not. Maybe we can trade
I hope
off.
it's
We'll
not on
trade
the
off
side.
work. Yeah, you might have something you need painted.
Yeah, I'm sure you can trade off.
Yeah.
I hope my wife's not listening to this.
Yeah, she's
She
gonna
will
hear
volunteer
this
me in a
episode.
heartbeat.
She's gonna have-
You will
She's gonna
march
be in
over
your
there, and
inbox
you'll do
tomorrow.
whatever she
Yep.
wants.
you will get
Yeah.
a message from Caitlin Fuller saying, "Hey,
He is
can you-
available
can-
these
yeah.
days.
Yep.
Can you paint
And when
this?"
you do, disregard that message.
Nope, she's gonna be my new best friend.
Y'all are right down the road from each other.
Yeah,
Really?
we're close.
Yeah.
We are close.
Oh yeah.
Very
Everyone's close in Leonard.
That's true.
close. That's true.
Do
So
you
does
have-
it feel like coming home?
Yeah, I really feel like this is my home. Like I
Cool.
mean, I don't know why. I mean, it just feels real, you know. And like I laughingly say, when we got the house my son lives in, I wanted the house, you know, and like this was my house, my dream house, you know, standing in the midst of the horde and the burn and everything. I knew what it could be. And one day into, you know, when we were really talking about it, my son was like, "Mom," he had been married about 3 years at that time. He said, "Mom, let us have it." I'm like, "No, no." Like, but for some reason he thinks I've never told him no. It's the baby, so. And I'm like, "No, you don't understand. No." And of course, the rest is history. He lives in it. They've
Yeah.
been there,
Yeah.
you know, now just at a year now. And but I'm still bitter.
Yeah.
Still going to hold that one over his
Still
head a little bit.
bitter, but not really. I'm proud for them. You know, they've really made that old house into a really nice home, so I'm proud for them. But yeah, so now we're gonna do this one. So
Cool.
I'm anxious to see.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Y'all
Yeah.
ever heard the German schmear? You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
German
what we're
schmear.
gonna do? That's
Yeah.
what we're doing to that house.
you just got excited.
Yeah.
Oh.
Here, like I'm so excited. And then yeah, women's brains, you know, we don't stop. And so at Christmas I was like, "Oh my gosh, next year." So this year at Christmas, gingerbread house.
Nice.
Y'all know what the house
Nice.
looks like.
Oh,
It
yeah.
totally
Yeah.
looks like
Yeah.
a gingerbread
Yeah.
house.
It does.
So
Yeah,
it's gonna
I
be
can
so
see it.
fun.
Very cool. I like it.
Yeah.
We have a little section on this show we like to call 5 questions.
Okay.
I've got 5 questions for you. Like, what's your favorite food? And can you water ski? 'Cause I've got 5 questions for you. Or do you prefer rum, gin, or whiskey?
That is too
I'm
much.
sorry.
That's pretty good right there.
I was like, okay.
It's our new song.
Yeah.
It's our
That's
5
the
question
Dumpster
song.
Diva theme song.
Yep.
Let's see here.
What you got, James?
All right, I'm just going to go with have you ever driven away with the gas pump still in your tank?
No.
Oh man. She's got me beat then.
Yep. Got me beat.
Ready? I
Yeah.
got one. How would your pet best describe you?
Do you have a pet?
Do you have a
Yes,
pet?
I do.
What you got? Dog,
A
cat?
dog,
That's
What
good.
kind of dog?
a Shih Tzu.
Oh my! Can we say that on the air?
I think we're gonna have to
Yeah.
bleep that and post edit.
Yeah, that's good.
What
got
would if your dog could talk? What would your dog say about you?
That I'm the queen.
Oh, okay. The queen.
Yeah, he loves me.
Very nice.
Jeez.
Very nice.
All right.
We all
No
tried to think
hesitation there. Yeah, I was trying to come up with something clever.
I had nothing. I don't know. I was trying to do some queen dumpster thing, and it just didn't work.
I see this one a lot, and I haven't asked it. Which of your 5 senses is the strongest?
Good
My-
question.
My
Oh.
eyesight.
Your eyesight.
Eyesight.
Okay.
Oh,
No,
good.
I got
But you
four.
got glasses
wearing
on.
glasses.
I'm talking about because I can see
She
beyond.
said I have 4 of
Oh,
them.
God.
Remember, I
Oh.
can see beyond.
Ah.
That's like the
What-
6th
That's-
sense, though.
Yes, but it
Is
is.
that foresight? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Second
There you
sight.
go.
Your
Well, he's
foresight. Mine is
smart.
smell. My wife says I have like superhuman smell.
It triggers memories for me, man.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, it does.
Alrighty. Have you ever broken a bone?
No.
No. Cool. I think I have, but nothing I've ever like sought out medical attention.
I mean, I might have broken someone else's bone.
No,
No, I'm kidding.
That's a different question.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Her and Joanna got into it.
Yeah. They will
Um,
if they ever meet on the street.
If you could be the lead singer of a band,
Whoa.
who would it be? Which band?
Oh, here we go.
That's a good question too.
Are you a
Singer
music
of a
lover?
band. Yeah. Like what
What are you
kind
into?
of music?
Whatever you want.
Southern gospel.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be the
It's
Kenny
your
Hansen
band. You can be whatever
Do
kind
you
of
sing?
band you'd like.
Well, at church,
Okay.
What church you go to?
the Tabernacle and Praise in McKinney, Texas.
Are y'all gonna
Cool.
stay with that, or y'all gonna?
Yeah, we're gonna stay with that.
stay with that? All
Yeah,
right.
that's
cool.
my brother was the pastor of that church
Oh,
all my life.
I was
And
gonna
he
try to recruit
started
you
out
out
that
here.
church, and when I was about 5 years old,
Oh, cool.
and then he passed away April of last. Well, it'll be 2 years this coming April. So yeah, that's my home church. That's
All right.
that's,
Wow.
that's my heart.
That's where we're gonna
Yeah,
stay.
that's where
Yeah,
we're gonna be.
That makes
Yeah.
Very
sense.
cool.
Yeah.
Have you thought about internet or Wi-Fi when you move out here?
Oh yeah, we'll have that.
Good, because
903
903
live without
Broadband offers excellent service
Is
and
that right?
at affordable pricing.
Yeah.
They do.
They
Local internet for
also
local people.
are based right here in Leonard, Texas,
Uh-huh.
and serve about a 60-mile radius from
Oh.
here.
Yeah, broadband internet
903
There you go.
Broadband right there
Is
that
on
right?
our backdrop.
satellite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They sponsor our show. They take care of us here, and they offer us some really fast upload speeds to get our
Yeah.
show on the line.
They
I
do.
really think that's what Buster told us about that.
Yeah.
Well, and
For
also
sure.
this podcast is really just a very clever and intricate way of recruiting new business for them. That's all.
Right. I understand.
Check it out. That's
We
just,
are
that's
actually
just
robots.
that's
Yeah.
just the way I wanted to put the plug in the show.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
Yeah.
you figured you're
we'll,
moving here.
We'll need something.
Check them out. Mention the siren when you give them a call.
Silent.
Yeah,
I
we
will.
thank you for your time, and I hope you beautify Leonard.
We're going.
Yes,
When you get
we're
here.
looking very forward.
There's a lot
to.
of trash here,
There is.
so
I'm down with that.
welcome home.
what are all of your pages, and what's your number, and what's your email, and what's the best way for people to
Yeah,
get a
plug
hold
that
of you
stuff.
and do whatever they want you to do?
Yep. So Facebook is Dumpster Divas Design.
At Dumpster Diva Design.
Divas Design.
Diva's Design. Okay,
That's
that
why you
S
got to
matters.
look at it. You'll figure it out. It's
Yep.
really the only one. And then Instagram is Dumpster Diva 1923. Y'all remember why I said
Your
that?
mama.
That's your
There you go.
mom's
Y'all were listening.
birth year.
That's it. And then I've got the new page for the house restoration is Our Nestoration.
Hashtag Nestoration.
Hashtag.
Okay, and that's a
Hashtag
separate
Nestoration.
page
That's
from
the separate page from the
Dumpster
business
Diva
page.
Design.
Mhm, yeah.
Well, if it means anything to you, I was in Sunday school,
yes.
and you were a topic of conversation about
Wow.
moving here, and people
Seriously.
were excited. So we're
Well,
very
okay.
excited to have you come, and we're looking forward to the growth of
Well,
Leonard.
good.
And
A friend of mine on Facebook shared the fact that you're coming here, and I looked into it, and I thought it was a
Oh,
really cool story.
So I'm getting around.
And,
already.
You are.
Okay.
You
that's
are.
good.
we wanted to formally welcome you here,
Well, I appreciate
even
it.
though you're not officially, I guess, in the
Well,
house and
I
all
mean,
that,
you
but
know, all but.
you were certainly here.
Yeah.
And we thank you for your
You're
time.
a
and
friend of the show now, so we
Yeah.
need you to maybe make over some of
Well,
our stuff.
We
Yeah.
will. We can do that. And
I
then
got a
I'll be
trailer
back
house, too.
later. We'll come back
Absolutely.
and do another
we'll have you back.
update.
yeah,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
can do some updates throughout the
Sure.
the Nestoration.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then
So-
I'll tag y'all on my
Cool.
social media.
Oh yeah, please do.
That'd
we
be
would
great.
we will
that.
do the same.
Yeah,
Yep.
Have a great- It's
sounds
been a
good.
lot of fun. Thank you very much,
Alrighty,
Miss
thank you.
Melissa Cervantes.